and welcome to another Saturday morning Samoflange. I'm Matt. Hi, welcome back. Hey. So, we should mention the reason why you are back doing these shows.
Why am I back?
Doing these shows with me, because we are doing a show together right now.
Yay! We finally get to do a theater show together.
How to succeed. One of our favorite shows. We've been working on it, trying to get it done for 13 years.
13
Finally.
Years, it has finally been on stage, and now we have Mr. J. Pierpont Finch here in the room with us.
Hey.
And I think my character's name is...
I don't know. Subject to change. But the thing is, though, I'm glad we're doing this, and it's going to create even more... I know this is going to be a fun show. Something we've always wanted to do regardless. But I started thinking about this, and we decided it was a great idea for a topic about our top 5 theater experiences. You know, just fun stories. Things that maybe happen during a show or after a show or during practice of a show or something, backstage or something. And just talk about our top 5 favorite memories. Now, for me, this was kind of easy because I haven't done that many shows. You've done a lot more shows.
I'm still reshuffling all the moments that I have as far as top. And honestly, I've had so many good ones on stage, and this is just a little bit of PR for anybody who's ever wanted or thought about auditioning for a community theater production. Like, if you have any fear about it, that's almost always, everywhere I've been, all over the country, it's a welcoming atmosphere and a community immediately with whatever group you walk into, and they're almost always welcome to see you. No matter where you go, it's always the same, it feels like. At least in the U.S. I've never done theater outside of the U.S., but I would say anywhere I've been, and I've lived all over the country, it's the exact same group of people that are just different accents.
Totally in agreement.
So if you've ever thought about it and considered it, then please do it, because it's a fantastic thing, and it's one of the best ever.
I totally agree.
It creates some of the best moments of your life.
And we're not going to have any crossover this time, folks, because we've never done a show together. This is our first show together, too.
Yeah, the one we wanted the most.
So this is a lot of fun. So you go first this time. I went first last time.
Oh man.
So what is number 5?
Okay. What I have for number 5.
Which memory do you like the least? I'm kidding.
These are all.
So a lot of these could be number 1.
They're all a number 1 for me. So, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Since it's the first one, I'll start out with the very first show I did, which was Little Women. And
I saw that show.
There are exactly 2 male parts in Little Women, and there were 2 males who auditioned for Little Women, and I happened to be the other one.
And my little brother was the other one. That was his first show.
That was Bray's first show?
Yep. He was Smaug the dragon in The Hobbit. He blew smoke out of the dragon. But his first
actual gig was Little Women, and we were singing 9/11 in the studio, driving the girls crazy. Or back in the dressing room, we was all mixed up.
311.
311. That's what I meant. Yeah. And so we would sing that constantly and drive them nuts. And anyway, so at the very last show, there are typically in community theater, and a lot of places do, they will play practical jokes on each other. The cast will play practical jokes on one another because it's just been a close-knit community, and sometimes you're just having fun. And I ended up, I was 17, I think, at the time, and so the lead character, Meg, and I, playing Mr. Brooke, were dating by the end of the show, as happens, theater relationships and romances. And the end of Act 1 is supposed to, I believe, end with Mr. Brooke kissing Meg, or vice versa. And because I'm so tall, the director had me sit down, and then have Meg come over and kiss me. And the direction was, kiss until the lights go out. That's your cue, because that's the end of the scene, and then you'll be done. Yeah. And so fade out. Right. And so the director very wisely, Miss Kathy Webb, very wisely waited until the very last. That was the very last scene she directed, that she blocked in the play. So she gave the cast time to get to know one another before she blocked anything intimate, any kissing or anything like that. And so the very last day of rehearsals, she said, and then you lean over and kiss him. And then, man, she just laid it on me. It was big time. It was like the very beginning of our relationship, and it was a hair-raising kind of kiss. It's one of the, exact, blow your hair back kind of thing. It was great. And I don't know if Leanne will ever listen to this, but I'm still thinking about it. So it was quite a kiss, man.
Speaking of kisses, I get my first and second stage kiss in the show. Never been stage kissed. 9 to 5, it was in the script that I'm supposed to kiss Linnea. Linnea is a former Miss Louisiana.
Oh.
And former back in the 90s or something.
Sure.
But the thing was, I mean, still looks nice for her age.
Of course.
And so when I kept joking, because Megan didn't read the script, and I kept joking with Gail, the director. I said, I can't wait for Act 2. When can we get to Act 2? And Gail would just shake her head. When it came to Act 2, I'm supposed to come in, give her a big old kiss, and then take her out to lunch. Gail changed it. She said, you know what? You're just going to pick her up, give her a big old hug, and take her out to lunch. I went, a hug? You sure? Because Megan had read the script by that time. I was like, nope, not Linnea. So I avoided that one. And then I think Footloose was supposed to have Willard fall in love. And Dennis changed it because he said, no, they're not. I mean, that is his girlfriend at the end. He said, but they don't need to kiss. And I was happy because, no offense, the girl
didn't work out.
She is annoying.
Okay.
And but everyone, I found out later on that was the reason it was sought after role, if I want to pat myself on the back, because there was a few girls who wanted it because they knew that girl would get kiss Willard. That was really nice.
Cool.
But and it ended up not happening. So I've never, had the kiss on stage. So we're going to see how that happens times two.
I mean, I've had a lot of them, and it's terrible most of the time.
One's not my true love, but it's how I find my true love.
Right,
and then the other one is my true love, which I kiss passionately. Right. So that's going to be interesting. So we're trying to...
So that's what happened, is that I ended up becoming a very passionate kiss. And then on the very last show, with the practical jokes I was talking about, the best friends of Leanne, who was working the lights. Mm-hmm. And do you remember what the stage direction was?
Oh, so she left the lights on.
The lights stayed on, brother.
That's funny.
So we're just making out in front of these 100 people.
That's
just
funny.
Had to eventually just get up and walk off, and then they dimmed the lights. But that was one of the guys.
That's funny.
Yeah, so it was
That's
really
funny.
One guy high-fived me on the way out of the theater, and it was
of course
hilarious.
That is funny.
So that was one of my best moments ever. And that was the first show I did.
My favorite, and to be honest, there was a tradition when I would come to Young Stage, when I would come to those shows, they would fit my name in the show going forward. I don't think Little Women did it, but every show after that, they do it. Because, this is back with April and Heather and, the whole old gang.
Yeah.
And so if they saw me there, they would say, someone has to help me. Who can, King Arthur was played by, I remember a kid called Jeremiah. He said, who can help me? And he grabbed me and picked me up. He went, you? No, not you, and puts me back down. And Heather during Grease said, I met this guy over the summer. He's super dreamy. I said, ooh, which one is he? The one standing next to Matt Wilkins.
What?
And she threw that in there when she saw me in the cast. So it was an inside joke to always get Matt involved some way in every show, it was kind of, and they didn't have to do that. That was back before I was doing shows.
This is when you were resisting it with all your might.
Yeah, I loved watching them, but I didn't want to do
Here
one.
he is. How long?
And here I am starring in one. I know, for real.
Now he's leading it up.
But my number 5 would be Footloose. Footloose had a cast of 60 people.
There
were so many people that Kyle Butler, who was our stage manager, our permanent stage. Back in the day, we had enough to afford a stage manager permanently. And Kyle was a great guy, and we were pissed because the dressing rooms were packed, and the green room was packed.
Yeah.
The green room got turned
into a dressing room.
The green room got changed into a dressing room too, and there was nowhere to change for all these guys.
There were so many people who auditioned for that show,
and they let everyone in because they wanted a huge cast.
It wasn't everyone though. There were a lot of people that got cut.
Maybe so, but 60 people.
I was there.
Well, really?
I was a part of the audition.
Oh yeah,
process.
you were.
Yeah.
So Kyle took it upon himself to clean out the dressing rooms upstairs.
Took it upon himself.
The original dressing rooms from Strauss.
Okay.
Cleaned it all up and only shared it with the stars. And we went upstairs to change and everything, and we had seat and the lights and everything.
So you had your own.
And I think we're the last people now to officially
use
those old dressing rooms, because now it's just a hallway.
Yeah.
But we were the last people to officially. I mean, the lights worked and everything. He got everything working.
What?
Yes.
He just fixed it up.
He fixed it up for us. He said this is ridiculous. So he spent one weekend just fixing up the old dressing rooms.
That's fantastic.
And then showed it to us as a surprise. Like, whoa. And so it was great to use those old dressing rooms that used to be used by the old, before the expansion way back in the 50s or 40s.
Because they've been there forever, and that's amazing.
And so it was really cool to say we were the last, because now it's a junk room again. Yeah. It'll never turn into that again.
Well, we don't know that.
But either way, though, it was really nice. But the memory, one of the memories, though, it wasn't really mine. Well, I mean, it did happen during the show, but it wasn't involving me. Melissa, can't remember her name, she got remarried. She got married to a guy in Footloose, actually.
Oh, yeah. I know you're talking about.
She met her husband in the show.
Fantastic.
She forgot that her mic was still on. When you have a hot mic,
isn't that the best?
You do not talk because it could be on. In fact, you physically turn it off if you know you're done with your scene. But you never talk when you walk off stage because sometimes sound forgets to switch your mic off.
You never know when they're going to turn it on, so you don't talk before your scene.
You don't talk at all. Yeah. Hunt Neely is about to do his scene.
Oh, boy.
Hunt Neely's I love Hunt, but Hunt is a very serious actor. He's not like goofballing around. Melissa walks off stage after her song, and then Hunt gets into his song, and there's supposed to be a quiet part, because he's the pastor who's angry about these dancing people coming to his town.
Of course.
And so he looks at his wife very sternly. It's a deep, serious scene. Melissa lets out the biggest and longest belch. And then the scene just holds because people start laughing. Hunt is pissed.
Oh, no.
And Hunt just holds that look because now it's not just a scene he's doing. He is pissed and doesn't know what to say next.
Oh, no.
And so the wife is waiting for him to respond so she can say something. But Hunt is so pissed he holds out the scene until it gets kind of uncomfortable for a minute because he thought Melissa did it on purpose to make a joke. Melissa still had no idea. Sound turned her mic off immediately when they saw what happened, when everybody happened. Melissa had no clue.
Of course not.
Hunt comes back pissed off. He's not talking to anyone. And then they finally figure out that Melissa gets told Melissa didn't. She apologized to Hunt. Hunt lightens up immediately when he realizes it wasn't a joke.
Sure.
It was an accident. And so Hunt's quick to forgive. And but it was absolutely friggin' hilarious.
And it was perfect timing, it sounds like.
Perfect timing for that.
Yeah, that kind of thing happens a lot. More than you'd expect. But thankfully, I haven't been mic'd up for many shows. It's a stress. It's an extra level of stress when you're mic'd up, I think.
Number 4.
These are all number 1s.
I know.
So they're all tied. But the show I did most recently, actually, was called Young Frankenstein before this one. And I got to play the lead role, and it was
fun show.
It was so much fun. I just had an absolute blast doing that role. And we had a live orchestra for this show. And unfortunately, it was a struggle. It's always a bit of a struggle when you have a live band because you only get a few days to practice with the live band because performers are expensive things, and not every theater is loaded with cash, and so they only get to come in for the last thing. So we struggled a lot with the tech rehearsal happening. So we had lights going on and everything, and there was a high stress level happening. It was a bad deal. And as the music was dragging behind us, it was too fast. It was coming in the wrong place, and the band just didn't have the practice we did. We had been doing this nonstop for 6 weeks. And it was really just cratering everything, to be honest. It was cratering morale and cratering everything we were doing. We were just all up there looking around saying, what is happening? What are we going to do? And just losing it. And then finally, long story short, too late, is that it came together. And finally, somehow in theater, it comes together. And it's uncanny how it always does.
Yeah.
And I will never forget, for as long as I live, the moment it came together and the opening number happens. And then I come off stage, because I got to play the lead part, so I came off stage at the very end of the final scene, and everyone else was coming off stage, or was already off stage. And I remember high-fiving some random person because I was so ecstatically delirious that it was finally working.
Right.
Finally coming together, and it was literally 6 to 8 weeks of build-up and anticipation and so much hard work. And it was my first lead role in a musical, and so I had a lot riding on it for myself personally. And I was, so friends. I had so many friends in the cast. Everything was just everything piled into one moment. And I came off stage and I high-fived someone in a delirium whom I don't remember who it was, and they were so thrilled. And then I fist pumped with someone else because they were just like, yes! Yeah. And I remember being mic'd up and constantly having that fear of being heard, of saying things, and that was the moment that I did not care if my mic was on or not. I still don't know to this day if my mic was on or not, but as soon as I got off stage, it was the high five and then just a big, just so much joy. And then I came around the corner and I saw another friend of mine and I just hugged her and I just started to cry immediately, and it was just relief. Finally, this is working. Right. Finally, this is happening the way we wanted it, the way we knew it could. And the thing was that it was really good, and that was what made it even better. It wasn't just that our hard work was paying off, but it was good.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh man, it's like a TV show you're watching,
good.
And it was just such a high moment. And I went from the fist bump, or the high five to the fist bump and the yes and not caring if anyone heard me, and everyone heard me, to going around the corner and just sobbing with relief into my friend's arms. And it was just such a joyous moment. And everything, went south after that maybe, but otherwise...
That was a good moment.
That was a good moment. And that's what the idea of this podcast is top theater moments. And that was one of the best moments of my life, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of wild because my original co-host, Mikey and CJ, are both theater people. And I know they probably have great stories because they had... I don't know if you ever knew about the Be Author Challenge.
No.
There was a unicorn that they named Be Author, and whoever upstaged someone on stage, did something outrageous on stage, would get to be author.
No, I didn't know about that.
Well, right now it will forever stay in CJ's arms because he did something so outrageous. Now, I'm not going. This is not CJ's story, so I'm not sharing it.
All right.
But Mikey had a chance in 9 to 5 to do something even greater.
If you're listening to this, I want to hear that story.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to hear their stories about this. But Mikey had a chance to win it back, and he could have done it. And I even text CJ, said, look, CJ, you're not here, but if I witness it, will you? He said, OMG, if he does that, we will relinquish. He said, not only will I relinquish, but we will end the game. Because it was big. I'll tell you later. I can't tell right now. That's Mikey's story. But anyway, Beauty and the Beast is my number 4. Exactly like you said. It came together. I mean, I remember the preview night. The free preview with the family.
Yeah, family and friends.
We still didn't get the opening number right. No. I remember looking at my brother going, this is going to be awful.
It's going to be awful.
And the first night, we got everything right. Everything went like that. Magic. And there's a lot of good memories because this is my first show to do with Strauss.
I remember that, yeah.
But one of my favorite memories is Sam Mathern, back then, was in the pit, making faces at us, wearing big ears, wearing mustaches, doing anything to make me and CJ laugh, because me and CJ would get near the pit. For some reason, Dennis, the director, moved our scene so close to the pit that we would almost fall in.
And you were playing the candlestick role.
Well, I was Cogsworth.
At this point, you were Cogsworth. That's right. He was
and the thing is, though, but he had us, and we were boxed in. We could not go back. We had to stay in our own little corner, but our corner was right over the tip of the pit, which is why Sam kept trying to get us to laugh. Well, we had to do this little joint arms, turn around victory dance.
Sure.
And we would tiptoe around, dance on the edge. Dance on the edge of the pit.
Right at the edge of the audience.
It happened. One day we did it. CJ stepped off into the pit. I felt him leaning.
And there was a live orchestra for that show,
yes, right? I felt him leaning. We stopped celebrating. I grabbed him out of the... I mean, he was tipping over to fall, and I could feel him. And I just grabbed him.
Wait. In full candlestick.
In full candlestick. And I grabbed him and jerked him. I mean, I literally pulled him out of the pit because he missed that fell. CJ's face was like, oh no.
I've never heard this story.
We stopped joining arms. I went and grabbed him, pulled him back. We both looked at each other like, oh crap.
Yeah.
But then we were totally out of character because we're supposed to be celebrating. And then we look at the crowd at the same time. We look at the crowd and go, hooray! And we just fit it in the show perfectly.
No, you did it.
But everyone saw that he had almost fallen. Everyone saw that he'd almost fallen in the pit, and that we just went with it. We went doom, like we looked at each other, looked at everyone, broke the fourth wall, and went, "Yay!" And everyone applauded.
Did they clap?
Yes, it was a wonderful moment because people saw what had happened.
When they see it and they're a part of it, it's beautiful.
And it was a fun moment.
Good.
And for the next year, whenever CJ and I were in a show, we would secretly, well, not secretly, but in the cast, if you were watching sometimes, I would take my role of Cogsworth by putting my hands on my hips, and CJ would put his hands up in the air as Lumiere doing the candlestick. And we did that for several shows. Every show we're in, actually, we would actually do that sometime during the scene. A little inside joke there.
Very cool little throwback there.
All right, so what's number 3?
Number 3 is from a show called Noises Off, which is a
great show.
Brilliant comedy.
Show.
And it was probably the hardest show. It was the hardest up to the time. I don't know. I've done so many.
Because the timing is so important.
The timing is the show.
It's a phenomenal show.
The timing is the show.
Yeah.
And without having to explain the whole thing, if the timing is off, it's wrong.
Everything's done, yeah.
And we did it repeatedly, and it was phenomenal. I'm incredibly proud of that show. However, I had the character that in the movie John Ritter plays, and in the play and in the movie, that character, because the cast hates each other. It's a play about a play, and so these are actors playing actors on the stage, and the actors are on tour, And eventually, they learn to just loathe one another, and they're literally trying to kill each other on stage. And so there's a moment where the person who loathes my character ties my shoelaces together at the top of the stairs. And so the story, or the script, calls for him to just tumble straight down the stairs because his shoelaces are tied together. And I remember I got to that scene, we were going to block it, and he says, yeah, you just go. And I was like, what do you mean I just go? He said, you just tuck your head in and you roll down the stairs. I'm like, are you serious? And I said, all right, fine, I'm going to do it. And I did it, and I nailed it on the first try, basically. And so every performance after that, and I think we had a lot of performances, but I just literally, I would set myself up, because I would freak myself out, because you don't want to deliberately fall like that. But I'm at the top of this high staircase, and I'm supposed to tumble all the way down to the bottom, end over end. And so I would deliberately set a suitcase a little bit too far to the left so that I could have something to trip on so that I wouldn't stop myself from falling down these stairs.
Right.
And then land face first.
Right.
So I would trip myself and then tuck my head in and roll straight up. That guy who jumped out of Terminator 2 didn't roll, tuck and roll. And so you're supposed to do that.
Right.
And I would tuck and roll all the way to the bottom of the stairs. And then when I got to the stage, the moment that I'm doing all of this setup for is at the bottom of the stage, right where you and Lumiere nearly busted it into the pit, the exact same spot, because I know where you were on that show.
Right.
I would land face first on the stage, but I would use my forearm to slap the stage as hard as I possibly could to make just a pop sound. And it didn't hurt ever, but it just made the ladies in the front row gasp and clutch their pearls so tightly. And it was such a horror-stricken look on everyone's face, and I would keep my eyes open and cross them, sort of, just to look even more stunned. And I looked forward to that every single night, just scaring the living bejesus out of these people in the front row that I had just died. And they believed it. They were so mortified, and I just lived for it. And I remember by the end of the run, I was padding myself up quite a bit. There were a lot of elbow pads and knee pads hidden up underneath my clothes because I was hurting. And legend goes that one of the only shows that we've ever had to cancel at Strauss history was because I fell on my wrist and I cracked my wrist. And that was a Saturday night. And so we had to cancel the Sunday matinee the next day because I could not move my wrist. And it's the only time I've ever even cracked a bone in my life. And that was it. So
this is wild how synonymous our lists are.
Oh boy.
This is almost like a crossover in a way.
Hit me.
It's the exact thing. Jekyll and Hyde for me and my fall. And Jekyll and Hyde, I have played two characters. One is the pimp, evil pimp. One is the aristocrat. The aristocrat is very plain Jane. He's a coward who eventually dies at the beginning of Act 2 by Hyde. Hyde kills a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And my death was going to be the most gruesome. My guy gets his neck snapped. He falls limp, where Hyde then kicks me, and I go and I fall down the stairs. He kicks me, and I drop down the stairs after I'm dead. Yeah. So I have to drop dead when he cracks my thing.
Cracks your neck.
Cracks my neck. I drop, and I fall, sack of potatoes. Then he has to kick me, and I said, give me a good shove.
Yeah.
And then I can do a dead drop down the steps and then fall flat. This is what you were telling me because I called you because you told me this story. I called you. I said, "Hey, Benjamin, I'm doing a scene where I have to fall."
I don't remember that.
You said, Matt, use your hands, but careful because I broke. You told me all this.
I told you that. Oh my God!
This is where you told me the story. And you said, "Well, I had to fall once." Here's what I did. I said, "Okay." So I did it. Okay. Now the thing is, I didn't have to trip and duck, but I could not protect myself.
React. Yeah, protect.
So every night, my hips bruised, sides bruised. I had bruises all over me. But you know what? You're right. The gasp. I'll take
terror.
I'll take one gasp over roarous laughter.
Oh my God!
Any day.
It was so fulfilling.
People who think, "Oh, roarous laughter is great," the gasp is 10 times. It's like, "Oh, screams are great to power Monster City."
Applause is great. You know, the gasp. And
the gasp.
The pearl clutching is my favorite.
And there were like, oh my gosh, I think he's really dead.
Yeah.
Because I did a dead drop. Another gasp I got as the pimp is when I went to slap Laura Ulrich. And Laura is so good as an actress.
Genius, yeah.
That she said, Matt, go ahead. Because I was holding back. She went, Matt, do it. I'm going to roll with it. You're not going to hurt me.
Oh, man.
I said, Laura, you sure? I'm sure. I popped her. I could tell I didn't hit her that hard. She dropped like a sack of potatoes. She dropped so hard that the cast thought I'd really hit her. And the cast broke character during the show.
What?
Because they thought she had really hurt herself.
No.
She was that good, but she got gassed. We got gassed every night. So I got double the gas, and it was just
so much fun.
It was the gas is way better than
such a thrill.
It is. It is. That's funny how we had the number 3 the same way there. All right, so number 2.
Okay.
I'm loving this.
I am too.
And by the way, all 3 of these could be my number 1.
Oh my God, yes, easily. So, the only time I've ever broken character on stage, is my number 2/1. And it was with the great Steve Munns in the show Lend Me a Tenor. And there was a scene where Steve and I are running a hotel in Lend Me a Tenor, and we've got this big operatic performance to save the hotel because we are in dire financial straits.
Right.
Okay. And this big opera
star. I saw this.
Okay. Big opera star is coming, and he's going to save the show. Well, opera star ODs on sleeping pills and is, fast asleep for half of the show. But we think he's dead because he's just out. And so I have to play as the opera star. So you have the character of the guy who's running the hotel, and then I'm playing the guy who's the opera star, and I'm trying to fake it so that we can save the hotel. And there, with any good hotel in this time period as well, you've got a good bellhop. And there was a scene where the bellhop was being played by, I think, Michael Wilkes. Was playing that
He's
part.
A bellhop. And very good.
He was very good. He was too
Crystal
good.
Medford was in that?
She was in that. Holy smokes. Crystal Medford was great. And, jeez, let's not even talk about that. That was an onstage kiss.
She looked phenomenal. She looked phenomenal in that dress.
That was a green dress from heaven is what it was.
Oh, my gosh.
So we would have the scene with the bellhop come in. And Michael, I don't know where he got the idea, or if it was his idea, or the director's idea, or what, but he played it so extraordinarily flaming gay, and just
wonderful.
It was so over the top.
Wonderful.
It was wonderful. It was incredibly over the top.
That was Michael Wayne Wilkes' best performance.
And and so he came in and he was so good, and he had such a small part, but he nailed it every time. And the moment was that he was supposed to come in, and then Steve and I would look at each other and oh no, because the bellhop has just delivered some news, and we're just like, what do we do now? It's over. And then we're supposed to sit on the couch, and we have a little conversation about lamenting about how bad things are, and then we start to laugh, because, when you've exhausted all your options, and you just keep getting crapped on, you just laugh about it. And that was the character. They just start to laugh, because they didn't know what to do next.
Yeah.
And there was the one night, Steve Munns, again, on the final show, he broke character a little bit, and he ad-libbed the line when he turned away from the door. As the bellhop left, he said, something wrong with that bellhop. I just completely lost it, because he said it in character, but he just
in Steve's face.
In Steve's face, there's something wrong with that bellhop. And I just completely broke and started laughing, and then Steve was laughing at how hard I was laughing. So thank God we were able to just skip the dialogue and jump right to the laughter, and just prayed that the audience didn't need the dialogue. And then we just kept going.
The audience was laughing too.
They were crying too. But I was like, that was the only time I had forgotten everything that was happening in life, and I was crying, and I just was loving every moment of it. But then when Steve turned to me and started laughing too, because of how hard I was laughing, it was just brilliant.
Let me just say, God bless Steve Munns.
God bless Steve Munns.
He's not here anymore, and if he was, I love that man more than anything. He meant a lot to me as an actor.
Meant a lot to so many people, yeah.
Still influences me as a director, and if he were here today, he'd definitely be on the show for this topic, because I miss that man so much. But that show, that entire cast was a perfect 10, because
Lend Me a Tenor?
You and Steve were just so in sync.
Yeah.
You were in sync, and you were one person. And even though you could make jokes, you do stuff. Y'all knew your characters so well. You knew each other. You played off each other so well.
It was priceless.
Honestly, it was perfect. It was perfect.
You really think so?
I think so.
Wow.
Because Michael Wayne Wilkes, when he comes in, he still sings, and he's a small role.
Oh my God, he stole everything.
That bellhop could have been a forgettable character, but he stole the scene when he came in, and those small times he did, he was perfect. Folks, Crystal will never hear this. But Crystal was Jessica Rabbit.
She was.
Okay?
And green. Jessica Rabbit and green.
I mean, when she came on stage, you just stopped. And you were like, oh my, it was like she was Cameron Diaz in The Mask, okay? I honestly, that was the first time I realized that was Philip's wife. I'd never met Philip's wife.
Well, that was...
And I was like,
I don't think they were married at the time.
Oh, they weren't?
They just got married?
I think they just got married, but I didn't realize she had married Philip. I was like, oh, hello. Hello, nurse, you know? I mean, honestly, Crystal never, she's stunning, but she never looked as stunning as she did.
Man.
And she played the character brilliantly. And that was such a fun show. Anyway.
It was a great show, and you're right. The cast was great, and that was one of the moments that I almost put on this list when the lights went out one day. We had a complete electrical failure, and they had the red emergency light came on, and we had to ad-lib with the audience for like a solid 5 minutes or so.
It was great.
And it was like, you don't have to put on the red light, and we just started singing or something.
It was great.
It was great.
It was great because you went along with it. That's why it's a perfect 10.
Yeah, wonderful cast. Yeah.
All right, so my number 2 was last year. Who's in Bed with the Butler?
Oh, man.
This show I did not want to do. I got roped into it because my wife made me do it, and the director, who's a friend of mine, made me feel bad. And she did give me an out, but I said, Megan will hate me forever if I don't do it, so I did it. I am kind of glad I did it because I got to meet one of my good friends who he only did one show with us, Philip. You got to meet Philip.
Oh, yes.
Love that man. I'm super happy I got to work on his one and only show. Yeah, different Philip.
Yeah.
And I was super happy. And there were some good memories backstage of me and him together. We clowned around. He had to do a scene where he opens the door and walks through it. I was always there doing something stupid. The last night I was in a full bear suit, and tackled him. I did not do it during a show. I did it during practice because every time he'd go, oh my, and slam the door and go, Matt. Because it was something different. It was something over, and I planned it out to where it'd be more over the top than the last time.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and I love Philip. I miss that man. But anyway, there's someone I hated. She's not going to listen to this, so Kelly. And in fact, I made a vow to myself I'll never work on a show with her again. Thankfully, she moved away. I don't have to, keep that promise now. But there's very few people I refuse to work with, and she is one of maybe 2. All right.
Well, but she never learned her lines or something.
She never learned her lines. She never learned her cues. In fact, she'd forget lines. She'd sit on stage and then forget where she was.
Oh,
one particular
I know
time.
Where you're going now? Okay.
There's 2 because I had to talk to the director. Say, did this happen during practice or during the show? She said, Matt, that happened during the show. I said, okay, I'm putting this in. Because I was writing my script. I said, well, wait, this was going to be number 4. And then when she told me that was actually happening during the show, I was like, okay, it's number 2 now.
Because there are 300 people staring at you.
One of them, the one that everyone knows, and the one that's most memorable, which was fine, was I'm supposed to be rattling off things in the house. She's supposed to interrupt me on the second one. I say, the furniture, the silverware, and she's supposed to go, the silverware.
The silverware.
Okay. But I go, we need to know what else is missing. The furniture, the silverware, and I pause. She's there off in La La Land. So I got to keep going. And I mean, it was a half-second pause because you can't, it gets awkward.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you could see Matt's face.
And I just said, the Beanie Babies. And she goes, and that's when she realized, hold on, that's when she realizes that she's missed her cue. And she goes, oh, the Beanie Babies. I mean the silverware. And she repeats it. And the funny thing is, Terry tells the story. The director goes, she turned to Megan and she went, did she just say Beanie Babies? And they started laughing so hard because I said, Matt, how? I said, because she wasn't responding, Terry, and it says I have to keep going. Yeah. And, if someone misses a cue, you just keep rambling.
Right.
Well, the best one, though, that no one remembers because it was part of the show, was one night she totally forgot to come on out.
What?
She missed her cue completely.
All right.
So I came out. I'm waiting for her. I do my intro. And Philip knows. We both realize she's not coming out. So I have to say her lines without saying, well, Daddy told me that blah, 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 blah. And I went, Mr. So-and-so told me, blah, blah. And I was trying to, cut out some of the lines with growing up with Daddy. I said,
you're just on the fly trying to edit it properly.
And I'm editing in my head because we've got to push forward.
Yeah.
We've got to push forward.
This is a timing show as well. Like, it's very critical on your timing.
And so we push forward. We move on. We do the entire scene without her. Oh, my gosh. And get to where the maid comes in. Kelly wakes up from her nap off stage, runs in and tries to restart the scene again. What? And I go, well, we've already discussed that, Miss So-and-so. And then we move on. But she keeps going, well, I want to talk about, I said, we've already discussed that. And then we walk off. She went, well, I'm sorry. No one told me it was my cue.
No one told me it was my cue?
And I wanted to say, Blake, you're not supposed to know. It's during a live show. No one tells you. You're supposed to be paying attention. I was so pissed at her. That's when I will never work with her again. Thankfully, she moved away to Dallas. I'll never see her again. Worst person ever to work with.
Oh my gosh.
But I remember Philip and I just sat there for a while and went, okay, let's do this. But the thing is, to Philip's credit, he went with it. Didn't even
I was about to say, did he
knew where I was going.
Or riff with it
and that was his very first show.
Wow.
He did, and he felt quick and insane. That's why I love that. I miss that man so much.
That's awesome.
Anyway, all right, number 1. Here we go.
Oh man, this is so hard. I still have 2 left on my list, but I'm gonna go with this one because it's an ultimate sort of moment for me.
Okay.
But,
you have 2 on your list.
I have
we should get number 1 though.
We should.
All right, get them both out. Go.
I'm gonna do it real quick. So at the end of Young Frankenstein, the very last show, there was a packed house. Yep. And there's the end of scene 1, and I'm going to do this quickly because it was done quickly.
Okay.
And so it's something I'm still proud of. And after I finished doing this, then there was an audience member who just went, woohoo, like that. Just like they could tell that I had worked so hard on it. And they were so excited for me to have done it right that they were just like, oh, that was great. And it was spontaneous, just like, wow, sort of out of the audience. And it was such a beautiful moment for me. But the character has a really fast ending to the song, and he says, you could call me Copernicus, Kepler, Newton, compare me to Freud, and feel highfalutin, call me a Darwin, I'm going to mess it up now because I haven't done it 50 times in the past 2 days.
But you did it flawlessly.
I nailed it at the end of Young Frankenstein musical with Mel Brooks, the Mel Brooks version of it, and oh my God. And at the end of it, I just took a big, deep breath, and as I was taking that deep breath, somebody in the audience just went, woo! And because it was so hard. And I loved it, and that was the only other time I guess I broke for a moment, because I heard it, and I came out of character for just a split second, and I choked on the next note or whatever, but it was just such a great, joyous little thing that I was super proud of, and it's just one I wanted to add. But Seven Brides for Seven Brothers is my number 1.
Okay.
And this was way back. This was my second show ever, and so it's still the top moment. There was a big dance number at the end, I believe, of Act 1 or Act 2. And it wasn't Act 2. So the barn raising scene from the movie, if you've ever seen Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, was choreographed in our production precisely as it was because our director and choreographer was in the original group, and he helped choreograph the original group. So he knows his stuff, and he drilled that dance number into us just over and over and over. And this is in August in the South, and we were dying in long sleeves and had to wear our hair long and dye our hair red for it. And it was brutally sweaty, but it was great. And so we rehearsed this dance number over and over, and it was 8 minutes long of solid dancing.
Oh, wow.
And it's the longest dance number I've ever been a part of, but it was a solid, and I'm talking kicking, jumping, and rolling all over the place. It was solid 8 minutes of dancing. And we had been performing the show and things were going great for probably like a couple weekends. I think it's maybe the 3rd weekend we were doing it, and so we were really in a roll with it. And we had felt really good about it. And then, just as we started to hit the stride of the song, within 1 minute of that 8-minute song, the sound went out completely. So there was no music, no nothing happening. And we just sort of hesitated for a split second, and then we kind of started clapping. And then for 7.5 minutes, we clapped. And we did the whole dance just by keeping rhythm on the sideline.
That's fun.
And there was nothing. And we were just like, well, music's not going to come back on. So we're just going to keep finishing the song that we know with no help at all. We just did everything. And the audience they caught on. They're like, oh, wait, there's supposed to be some music here. And they figured it out pretty quickly. And you could hear them kind of chuckling. There was like a chuckle that was murmuring through the audience.
Rippling through the audience.
They're like, oh, look, the audience, they're still going. Oh, my gosh. And then it rippled into amazement because they're like, they're still going. And there's nothing. How do they know this?
That's great.
And then what had happened is that someone up in the sound booth had unplugged a cord with their foot.
No.
And it just pulled everything. And they had no idea. They're up there in the dark scrambling around. They've got flashlights. They don't know what's happening. And it turned out to just be this one plug that came undone. And so they finally found it in the dark. And then they plugged it in. And the CD had never stopped playing. They just cut the sound. But the disc didn't stop. And so when the music came back on, it was 2 beats off where it should have been. We were 2 beats off the dance step. And so we just waited 1, 2, dun, 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 and then we finished the song. And it was like the last 30 seconds, and we did it with the music. after 7.5 minutes of silence.
Awesome.
And the thunderous applause that happened after that, because the audience was fully in on the whole thing. And when they heard the music come on, what? So, like, they applauded when the music came on, first of all, because they saw that we were in sync with the music still. So they got applause, we got applause before the song ended. And then we got the most thunderous applause I've ever heard in my life after the song ended, because they were in on it with us, like you said. So they were in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was perfect. And Scott Baronet was the one directing it and choreographing it, and he was up there, and there was a spotlight in my face at the time, but I believe that I could see Scott shining a little bit brighter than the spotlight was, because he was beaming so big from up there.
That's a proud moment.
Proud. Yeah, it was great.
Awesome. That's a great story. My number one, I don't think you've ever told that one to me.
I haven't
before. No, I don't think that's one I've heard.
It was fantastic.
My number one also had to do with people breaking. It was the only time I ever broke in a show.
Yeah.
Well, not counting dinner theater.
Dinner theater's a whole other animal.
Dinner theater's another animal. But I broke in this show, and it was Oscar and Felix. We were trying to break everyone. That was my goal, to get everyone to break. It's something you shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't play that game in theater. That's unprofessional. But we were doing it.
Tell you not to do it.
I know, but we were doing it because we were so tightly knit.
Now I'm going to do it to you.
The four of us, Michael Wayne Wilkes, Mark Addison, Mikey Still, and I were just thick as thieves, man. And Toby Otero was Oscar.
That's a malicious group.
And so what we did is we replaced Toby's cards with bikini cards, but our faces over the bikini women. He looked at it, put it down, wouldn't say his line for a minute because he was trying not to laugh. He kept laughing. We go, "What's wrong, Oscar? What's wrong, Oscar?" And it was great. Got him. So check. He's done.
One.
So then we went for Michael Wayne Wilkes. Michael Wayne Wilkes has to take a bite of my sandwich when I'm not looking. What I did is I loaded it. Well, I went out and bought, and we made it. We particularly made it. We made a hot mustard. I remember I got cayenne pepper. I got hot sauce, the hottest sauce we could. We sprayed it with mustard, and we put it all over the sandwich, especially in the corner that he was supposed to bite off. He bites it, and that's supposed to be funny. I'm supposed to go, "You bit my sandwich. Why'd you doing eating my sandwich?" He goes, "Because." And Michael stopped, like something is wrong. And I went, "Spicy, ain't it?" And I just smile at him, big smile, because he knew it. And he just looks at me and goes, and Michael's laughing. And we're all just smiling at him because we know it. And he ran off stage after it was over. He said, "What did y'all put in that?" It was phenomenal, the look on his face. Because he stopped mid-stage and said, "Well, I just kind of," and he paused and he's just like, "Wait a minute, something's going on with me."
Oh, no.
And then I got Mikey.
So that's two.
Mikey thought he was not going to get hit. He said, "You're not going to pump me." There was, on the radio show in the morning, John Reynolds and I had made a joke that, I can't remember, John said something like, "Oh, you smell like wet Doberman and corn chips." And Mikey thought that was hilarious. So anyway, Mikey goes, "What's that smell?" And he looks outside. Is that the city?
Is that a line from the
That's the line. That's the line. Okay. And I went, "I don't know." I said, "It smells like wet Doberman and corn chips." And Mikey goes, and he was so mad at himself. He said, "I did not see that coming. That was from left field." He said, "You got me." He said, "I'm so mad that I fell for that." He said, "But that was so good, dude. It felt." He said, if you'd have done that any other day, because that morning is when the morning show when we made the joke on it, and then that evening he just told me he just couldn't stop laughing at that. I went, "That's how I'm going to get him." Yeah. He said, "But it fit perfectly in the show." He said, "You did that perfectly." Well, I was waiting for them to get me because I knew it was going to happen, and it didn't. Because the time I went to go get Mark has to come out of the bathroom. Mark's the very first scene. He comes out, says, "Do y'all know there are no towels in the bathroom?" He picks up my napkin and wipes his face. So on the napkin, I drew some nice, beautiful male genitalia, and for him to wipe his face all over. So out comes Mark, opening line. I'm sitting there. I'm ready for Mark to say something. Mark picks it up the napkin, looks at it, looks at me, knowing I did this, and just buries his face and motorboats that napkin. It's my line. And I remember I turned, I was like, and I said, here's how I did my line. I said, "Oscar, are you in or are you out?" And I put my head down because I knew I broke myself. And I was so sad. Mark won. He was the last, because me and Mark.
It wasn't him that broke.
Because Mark and I knew we were the last two people standing.
It just went.
We even tried to get Mark several times. And Mark, one time, we're supposed to spew water in our face. Me and Mikey take turns spewing water in our face. Yeah. Well, one time I took too much water, and instead of blowing at Mikey, I blew it at Mark. Mark didn't know it was coming. He sat there and took it, and then delivered his line, plain Jane. There was no way he knew I was going to do it.
You know, Mark has vehemently sworn that he's not coming back. You know, to the theater.
I missed that man.
He's retired. Maybe this is the reason why.
Well, he still won. I mean, I did everything in my power to break him, and this one time I thought, this is the coup de grace. He will definitely break.
Sure.
He turned it on me, and he won. And I knew, because that's when I put my head down, because not only had I just broke, but I lost. Yeah. So it's a defeatist thing there. That was just a really good show. There's a few other things on that show. I actually messed up on a line. I said, I'm supposed to say, I'm 3 blocks away. I'll be here in 5 minutes. The very first time I said the line, I said, I'm 3 minutes away. I can be here in 5 minutes. And I just look, because it's obvious I kind of look confusing. Yeah. We both look confusing at each other, and I just kind of smile and slowly back out. Well, it looks like Speed's being a jerk. And everyone thought that was really funny. Yeah. And you're not supposed to, and it wasn't supposed to be a funny moment, because Vinny's supposed to, we're supposed to we're setting up the last one who's supposed to be a joke. Dennis grabbed me. I said, Dennis, I did not try to grab a laugh. I said, I messed up on. He went, well, say it. It was really funny. So I had to check with Mark. Mark said, no, totally say it was funny. And so I got to have that joke for me, but it started off as me just getting the script wrong. Wow. And the last reason I really liked it, very memorable, is that our star may have been cheating on someone. There were 2 girls in the cast. One was his wife, and one was his girlfriend, who became his girlfriend during the show. And then the last weekend, the girlfriend and the wife found out. And so then they had to do the show together. And it was chaos backstage. And on stage, they muddled through, but then off stage, they separated everybody. It was the most awkward. And the thing is...
Was that for the final show?
The final weekend, yeah.
Oh, no.
And the thing is, the 4 of us that drama was going on. You think that would impact everyone. But all we did... We don't even remember what we talked about. We would sit we'd sit off to the side. Yeah. And we just laughed. Not about that, but we just laughed about everything in the show.
Everything else was so funny.
Everything was going on, but we would make jokes to each other. I mean, we were just so close together.
Wow.
And that whole show was very memorable.
I have had shows like that where just some incredible drama is happening backstage, like a real life drama thing. And you're just like, you can't do anything else, but the rest of the cast
just have fun.
It's great. And you're like, okay, I see this disaster happening. You know what? Everybody else is so happy, and it's such a it's a moment that will pass, and it's fine.
And I'm ready to see what our memories will be for this show.
I'm really excited about it.
We're pre-recording this, so
we're pre-recording this one.
A few weeks have passed since we've done the shows. I mean, we haven't done the show yet, and when the show happens,
we've only had
we'll have
3 rehearsals, I think, so far. So we are just getting started.
But the thing is, I can't wait. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen. I can't wait to make more memories, and regardless, I'm just going to enjoy the show. So there you go, folks. Our top 5 memories in theater. There you have it. Always fun to share it. And, folks, we'll be back next time with more Saturday Morning Samoflange. We're in sync, baby. We're in sync.